I have never liked the Venom movies. I've always thought it was so dumb this whole time, the way they treat the character like a buddy duo, where Venom is a completely separate, individualized character that is attached to Eddie, rather than the amalgamation of the two entities that they should be. But it makes for jokes that people seem to like, even if I don't find them funny. And the action's always been decent. Because yeah, I'll admit, the gooey nature of the power set itself makes for a lot of creativity. However, when it comes to Venom: The Last Dance, it seems like any minor positives have completely fizzled out. The action is lamer than it's ever been, and the comedy is so annoying at this point.
We are Venom! No.
And it has the most sorry excuse for a story that I've ever seen from a superhero movie. Eddie and Venom are being hunted by a monster sent by Null, a guy from another dimension who hates symbiotes. And get this, he wants to take over the world. It is like the most boring and standard villain motivation in the entire history of storytelling. But it does sound like a pretty serious threat for this world, right? Well, don't worry, it won't be too serious, because running from this monster means a weird, wacky road trip, where we start out in Mexico, then we hit the road in a hippie van with a UFO-obsessed family, stop by Vegas for no reason, and then end up in Area 51. That's it, that's the story. It's just a series of little vignettes where nothing interesting happens, except maybe a couple of big fights that honestly are hard to give a crap about. And that's because the tone is all over the place. I just can't take this dire situation very seriously when the characters are acting so goofy. And I know people have been enjoying Venom being goofy and all, but in this movie, they've taken it just a bridge too far, because they've sacrificed any dwindling ounce of believability for it. The characters act in ways that just don't make any sense at all, outside of jokes and moving the story forward. There are a few examples, but the biggest one that comes to mind is when they're in Vegas, and Venom knows that if he fully transforms, the monster will immediately be able to track them down. But despite this, he still does it anyway, because he just has to dance with Mrs. Chen. It's so stupid, and such a blatantly lazy way to just get the chase going again. Also, is this the reason it's called The Last Dance? All you really need to know to understand why this feels so phoned in compared to the already underwhelming previous films is how they marketed it. The first film was sold on the fact that this is famous comic book character Venom, but then they completely mischaracterized him. Then the second film was sold on the fact that he is facing one of his greatest nemeses from the comic, Carnage. But then they made him lame too, and wasted one of the most perfect castings in comic book movie history. But then we get around to this film, and it's sold on Venom Horse. So is it any wonder that it couldn't even live up to low expectations? Well, those are just my thoughts after watching this movie. What'd y'all think? Agree? Disagree? Think I'm stupid? Let me know in the comments. And let me know what you thought of this film. As for me, I say Venom: The Last Dance. More like Venom: The Last Trash.